Chapter 5: The Rise of Xylon. Xylon stood over the paralyzed villain, Kaito Inazuma, who was still dazed and confused from the paralysium. The villain's voice broke through the silence. "Hey, what's happening?" he demanded, panic evident in his tone. Xylon ignored him, walking up and placing his hand on Kaito's head. With a sudden surge of power, Xylon began to siphon Kaito's quirk. The villain's eyes widened in pain and surprise, but Xylon was ready. He felt the energy transfer, the raw power now coursing through him. In an instant, he retreated into the dream world, where he found the Angel of Hell waiting. "I have it," Xylon said, handing over the acquired power. The angel nodded, accepting the quirk. "Thank you. Use it well in your plan to become the strongest villain of all time." Xylon then used his dream ability to ensure Kaito's complete loyalty to him in the real world. He manipulated the villain's subconscious, binding his will to Xylon's commands. When Xylon woke up, Kaito was on his feet, his expression one of absolute devotion. "I am at your service, Master." Xylon smiled. "I want you to use your connections to get me a fake hand exactly like mine. Fill it with my blood. I'm going to fake my death and use the blood to make the police believe I have died and not look for me. You will be rewarded for your loyalty." He handed Kaito a disposable phone. "Call me when it's ready." Kaito nodded and quickly left to carry out his orders. Xylon began walking back home, feeling the strength flowing through him. This quirk would be his main weapon. He needed 2 or 3 more to support him, a healing quirk and a stealth quirk. He knew where to get the invisibility quirk. The girl from Class 1A in the anime, she could barely be seen in the dark, which was very useful. Excited and filled with anticipation, Xylon headed back home. Upon arriving home, Xylon went straight to his room. It was around 5 p.m. and his mother, Inko, had gone out with her friends, expected to return in an hour. Perfect time to prepare for his next move. He made the drug and got an outfit ready, all black with a mask and the brand of sacrifice symbol on the forehead. He put it in a bag and hid it under his bed. Xylon then entered the dream world, asking for the location of the invisible girl. The angels, seemingly more cooperative with time, provided detailed information. She was 19,000 meters to the right, currently playing video games. "Shit, that's far," he muttered. Inko returned home around 6 p.m. Xylon spent the rest of the evening with her, contemplating whether to let her live or not. By 8 p.m., he received a call from Kaito. The villain informed him that he had the hand requested. He had found a person similar to Izuku and cut off their hand, removing all blood as instructed. They agreed to meet at the same location as the invisible girl's house in 3 hours. Xylon felt a mix of excitement and caution as he hung up. He waited until midnight, then snuck out of the house through his window, running to the location. The villain arrived soon after. Kaito commented on Xylon's outfit, all black with a mask and the brand of sacrifice on the forehead. Xylon nodded, taking the hand filled with his blood. It was cold but radiated a sense of power. He hid it in his bag. "The mission is simple. I'm going to sneak into the house and sedate her. I need you to burn it down after I finish." "Understood?" Xylon instructed. Kaito nodded, and they parted ways. Xylon found a cracked open window and snuck into the house. Using his quirk, he sensed 2 people, a woman and a child. He sedated the woman first, then moved to the child, who was distracted by the game. Following the same ritual as before, Xylon stole her quirk. After finishing, he woke up, took any money and valuables, and put them in his bag. The girl woke up, looking at her skin in shock. She wasn't invisible anymore. Xylon grabbed her by the neck. "Don't move." He snapped her neck and placed a wardrobe where it snapped. Setting a gas leak and torching the place, he left, feeling the thrill of power and the satisfaction of a well-executed plan. The world was beginning to bend to his will, one quirk at a time. Chapter 6: The Final Deception. Xylon met up with Kaito later that night. "I want you to put a pint of my blood into the hand and freeze it. Then sneak me home and put me to bed." Kaito nodded, his loyalty unquestionable. "Yes, master." He carefully followed the instructions, inserting a pint of Xylon's blood into the fake hand before freezing it solid. With the hand prepared, Kaito made his way back to the house, avoiding any guards or suspicion. He climbed through the window, placed the ice-cold hand onto the bed, and tucked Xylon in, ensuring he was comfortable. With everything done, he slipped out of the house and back into the night. The plan to fake his death was set in motion. The next morning, Xylon called Kaito around 9 a.m. to finalize the details. "I'll stay inside until 12 a.m., Xylon instructed. "Then set the house on fire with the fake hand containing my blood in the flames." Kaito nodded on the other end of the line. "Understood, master." By 11 a.m., with only an hour left, Inko woke up. She tried to move but realized her hands and legs were tied to her bed. Panic surged through her as she noticed the fake ice hand on her bedside table. She struggled desperately to free herself, but to no avail. Xylon entered the room, his presence cold and unyielding. She tried to speak, her voice muffled by the gag in her mouth. Xylon removed it, and she immediately asked, "What is going on?" He explained the plan in a detached tone. "The house will be on fire in 50 minutes. There's no way you can escape. The fire will ensure no one finds your body, and it will appear as though I died too. I will be free." Inko's eyes widened with terror as she realized the gravity of the situation. She begged, tears streaming down her face. "Please, don't do this. I love you." Xylon's expression remained unmoved. "Listen, I am not Deku. I am Xylon. I killed your son and took over his body. Now I am going to kill you to cover my tracks." Inko was devastated, the reality of her son's death and the presence of this stranger in his body crushing her spirit. Her cries grew louder, her pleas more desperate, but Xylon was resolute. He retrieved the frozen arm containing his blood and began defrosting it. With 5 minutes left, he ignited the house. As the flames started to consume the room, he looked at Inko one last time. "Inko Midoriya, you were a good mother. For Izuku, that is." Ignoring her heart-wrenching sobs, he left the house, the fire spreading rapidly behind him. The sounds of her cries and the crackling flames filled the night as he walked away, feeling the weight of his actions and the thrill of his newfound freedom.
Thanks for watching, you acoustic idiots. Bye.
Ho, ho, ho!